Hi, welcome to the video tutorial Spring Boot Security from Authentication with JDBC. I am Nam Haming from codejava.net. Throughout this video tutorial, you will learn how to secure web pages in a Spring Boot application using form-based authentication with a MySQL database. In other words, you will learn how to implement login and logout functions for Java web applications based on Spring Framework. This year Spring Boot project in Spring Suite IDE product manager. You see, let me run this Spring Boot application. This Spring Boot application needs to be secure. Okay, the application is up and running, and we access the application. Localhost 8080. You see, this is a product manager application, and by now everyone can use all the features of this application: create new product, edit, and delete. Now I want to secure this Spring Boot application, requiring that only authenticated users can view all the products, create new product, edit and delete products. In other words, the users must log in to use all the features of this application, and we will be implementing login and logout functions for this existing Spring Boot project. So here are the steps which we will follow in this tutorial. First, we create the users table to store the credentials, and then we declare the dependencies for Spring Security and MySQL JDBC driver, and then we configure JDBC authentication details, and then we test login and logout functions. And bonus, I will show you how to implement basic role-based authorizations for a Spring Boot application. And to follow this video tutorial, make sure that you have the following software programs installed on your computer. First is Java Development Kit JDK, Spring Suite IDE, MySQL database server, and tools like MySQL Workbench. And here are the technologies which will be used in this project: Spring Framework, Spring Security APIs, Spring Boot, Thymeleaf for the view templates, Maven for the project build, and the Spring Boot developer tools for automatic restart and reload whenever we make changes to our code, and of course MySQL JDBC driver. Back to the Spring Suite IDE, and you can see the application.properties file here, and make sure that you declare the JDBC connection information spring.datasource.url here for the JDBC URL, username and password to access the database. And you can see this application using as a database name, database schema salesdb. And now let's create the users table that stores the credentials. You can see there are the mandatory fields columns: user ID, username, password, ORO, and enable. And this is my MySQL Workbench program, and you can see the sales DB schema here, set as default schema. And now let's create the users table that stores the credentials for the login function. Create table, and the table name is users. First column is primary column, user ID. Primary column, not null auto increment, and the second column is username Vacha 45 not no, and the third column is password Vacha 45 not no. The fourth column is row, the row name of this user Vacha 45 not no. Password must be of type Vacha 64 because we will be using encoded password with Bcrypt hashing function. So this should be Vacha 45, 44, 64, sorry. And the last field is enable, which is of type boolean. These columns are required by Spring Security. Type boolean. Where is a boolean? Yeah, boolean. You can see it automatically changes to tiny int because MySQL database does not have boolean type. The actual type is an integer number, which the value 0 is false and value 1 is true. Okay, so click apply button to generate the table. Apply, finish, and we have the users table here. The columns user ID, username, password, row, and enable. Select rows, and now we have empty and table. So we have created the users table, and next we need to declare dependencies for Spring Security and MySQL JDBC driver. Open the Maven pom.xml file here. This project already uses the MySQL JDBC driver, but you have not, you must specify this dependency for MySQL JDBC driver, MySQL connector Java, and now we need to add dependency for Spring Security. Copy the group ID here. And change the artifact ID to Spring boot starter security. Okay, save. And you will see Maven automatically download the required jar files for Spring Security here, and the jar file for MySQL connector JDBC driver MySQL here. And note that you must declare data source in the application.properties file like this. URL, username, and password. And now we are going to write code to configure JDBC authentication details. It's better to stop the application for now because we are going to make a lot of changes to the code and create a new Java class here. The class name is web security config. This class must extend the web security configure adapter. Web security configure adapter here. Finish. And we need to annotate this class with a configuration annotation to specify that this here configuration class. So Spring Framework, we load this class upon startup, and we need to use the enable web security annotation. So Spring Boot, we automatically configure security steps for the project, and we declare an instance of the data source from the vax.sql package data source, and using the auto-wire annotation to let the Spring Framework automatically inject an instance of data source. And we need to override a couple of methods from the superclass. Override implement methods, and here we choose to override the config authentication. Configure HTTP security. Just one method to override, and another method to configure the JDBC authentication. Public void config authentication. And we use the authentication manager builder as a parameter for this method. Manager builder auth builder. And we configure the JDBC authentication here in this method, and we also need to auto-wire this method. So Spring Framework, we automatically inject instance of data source into this method. Auth builder JDBC authentication, and data source is an instance of data source here, so we need to use auto-wire annotation. And because Spring Security doesn't recommend raw password, so we need to use a specific password encoder. So we specify password encoder here. We use a default recommended strong password encoder, which is Bcrypt password encoder. That means in the users table, we need to store password in encoded form, Bcrypt. And then we need to specify the SQL statement to select user by username query here. And the query should be select username, password, and enable it from users where user name equal parameter with a question mark here, and then we need to specify the second SQL statement to select the role name authorities for the users authorities by username query here. The second query is select username row from users where username equal question mark, and click here to throw declaration. So to configure JDBC authentication using Spring Security, we need to specify the data source, password encoder, and the first query to select user details based on username, and the second query to select user role based on username. And for simplicity, you see I use only one table to store username, credentials, and role. And next, you need to configure HTTP security in this overloaded method to specify authentication rules and authorization. That's HTTP authorize a request, and we want that any request must be authenticated. The user must log in, and we use a default login form and login form. From login, we use a default login form provided by Spring Security, but we need to permit all so everyone can see the login form. And for logout, also permit all. Okay, that's it. Save. Now we can start the application to test. Now refresh the browser, and you see the default login form provided by Spring Security. It looks pretty nice, right? And we must enter username and password. Of course, we want error because we don't have any credentials stored in the users table. The table is empty. And you can see this default login form is very nice. It also validates the user input, as you can see here. And if you view this base source code, you can see Spring Security makes use of Bootstrap CSS. You can see Bootstrap here. Now let's create a couple of users in this table. Username, the first username name hm, password code Java. The role is in the database. You must specify the role name starting with row underscore user. Enable 1, meaning true, and the second user admin password named row underscore admin enable 1, and the third user to me password to me row user, but this user is not enable 0. Okay, and click apply, finish, and we have 3 users here. Now let's try to log in with the username SM first. Password is code Java, and we see we got error bad credentials. And in the console view, you can see a warning here. Encoded password does not look like Bcrypt. That means the password in the database must be stored in Bcrypt format. To do so, we create a simple program to generate a password in Bcrypt format. Create a new class in the test folder here. Password generator. Click this option to create the main method. And here we use an instance of Bcrypt password encoder. Encoder equal new Bcrypt password encoder. And the raw password is code Java. And the encoded password is encode raw password, and print out the encoded password. And run this program to get the Bcrypt format of the raw password code Java. Run as Java application. Here you see this is the raw password of the encoded password of the password code Java. Copy and paste into this table. Password paste. So you see this Bcrypt password is quite long, so that's why we need to declare the size of the password field to be 64 characters. Click apply, finish. And now let's try to log in again. HM code Java. And you see I have logged in successfully. Very nice, right? And I can use the feature create new product of this application normally. For example, blog name is Kindle Fire, then Amazon, made in USA, price 88, save. You see the new product Kindle Fire was created here, and I can edit, made in China, price 99, save. You see, and I can delete. For example, I delete Kindle e-reader here, delete. Very good. And let's update password for the rest users, admin and to me. So we generate password for generate Bcrypt format for password IMDA. Run as Java application. Here, copy and paste here, and generate password to me. Run as Java application. Here we go. Copy and paste here, password Tommy, and click apply. Finish. And we want to display the username of the logged in users at the top of the page here. So we need to update Thymeleaf template. This is index.html file which display a list of products this page, and we add the code to display the username here using h3 adding tag and js inline value of variable to this HTML tag text welcome, and this is variable name http submit request dot remote user. Okay, save. Refresh, and you can see it display welcome sm here. Very good, right? And next we need to display the logout button right after the welcome message. So we create a simple button within a form here. Th action equal the action of the logout. Note that this logout URL will be automatically handled by Spring Security. We just specify. We don't have to code. Don't have to write any code to process login and logout. Very convenient method post. And here we have a submit button. Input type equal submit, and value is logout. That's it. Refresh and you will see the logout button here. Click a while and you see there's a login from us here again. You can see the message. You have been signed out. And now let's log in with different user. This time login with admin. And you see the message welcome admin here. And log out and login with user Tommy. You see the user is disabled, and you can see in the database the enable column value is 0, which means disable. Very good, right? And if we update to true one here, we can log in as that user. Now log in at Tommy again. Tommy, and you see welcome to me. So far you have learned to implement basic form-based authentication with JDBC for an existing Spring Boot project. Create user table, declare dependencies, configure JDBC authentication details, set login and logout. And next we will go further by implement basic role-based authorization for the project. Now I want that the users having the role admin can edit and delete the products, and only the users having the role user can create new product. Sorry, the users having the role user can create new product only. He or she cannot edit or delete products. Yes, you can see in the table user we have the row column for users here, row user, row admin, row user. And to configure authorization in Spring Security, we need to update the configure method here. After authorize request here, we use a method and matches to match the URL to the URL to edit product is /edit, and I use a wildcard character asterisk to denote everything after, because in the URL you can see edit and the ID number here, and similar to the edit handling. Delete asterisk, and the user must have this row, and the row name is admin. Only admin can and delete products. Save. Refresh, and I'm currently login with the user to me, which is not admin, and I try to edit a product, and you see I got an error. HTTP status 403 forbidden here. Try to delete, and what the same error. Create a new product. Okay, new product. Product 1, brand Apple, US price 99. And you see the product not created here, but I cannot edit or delete. Now log out with the admin row. Admin. And now with this user having the admin row in the database that you can see here, admin row, admin here. This admin can edit product. You see, edit product iPhone 11. Save. You see, the product not updated, and I can delete the product here. Log out with and log in with user name SM. SM. Click edit, and you see the error, default error page for HTTP status 403 forbidden. Now we want to customize this error page to make it more friendly to the user. So in the project, we in this method we configure exception handling and specify the access deny page URL. Access deny page, for example, /403, and we need to configure Spring ABC to result this the URL to a Thymeleaf template view. We create a new HTML here for the access denied page 403 HTML, and the title of the page is access denied. Sorry, you don't have permission. And we create a MVC configuration class to map the URL with the view name MVC config super interface is web MVC configurer here. Okay, finished, and we override method. Add view controllers here. Okay. Registry. Add view controller for the URL 403 and set the view name is 403. Okay. Save all the changes and test again. Now refresh and refresh. Currently logging with the username SM. Try to edit. Sorry, we need to specify the configuration annotation here. And refresh. Edit. And now you can see a customized version of the HTTP 403 error. Sorry, you don't have permission. Delete. Sorry, you don't have permission. Next, we will go further. The users having user role. One sees the actions happening here. Only the admin user can see the action happening. Edit and delete. So we need to use Thymeleaf integration with Spring Security. So we need to declare an additional dependencies for the project here for the integration between Thymeleaf template engine with Spring Security dependency. Group ID is of Thymeleaf actors and artifact ID is Thymeleaf dash actors dash Spring Security 5. Save. And in the Thymeleaf template, we can use Thymeleaf security attribute here in the HTML. We need to declare. We should declare another HTML namespace for Thymeleaf security. HTML ns colon th equal https thymeleaf.org slash Thymeleaf dash actors dash Spring Security 5. And here's go to display the actions column, and here we can use the Thymeleaf syntax. Sorry, this should be sec for security. Sec authorization here and equal expressions that validate the role of the user has a role. Only the users with admin role can see the action columns. You see, and we copy the same code for the rows here for the action column. Okay, save the changes, and now we refresh. Currently login with username SM, which don't have admin role. We got an error here. We need to have closing double quotes. Okay, refresh. We got an error in the console view here. I think we need to restart the application manually. Restart. So you see, with Spring Security APIs, it's very easy and simple to implement authentication and authorization for Java web application. Secure web pages. Now refresh the home page. Login with the username HM. Oh, we still see the actions column. Okay, let me check. Check to see if the Thymeleaf integration with Spring Security. We have the Java file here already. In the HTML file, sorry, this should be authorize. Authorize. Save and refresh. And now you see this user doesn't see the actions column or links to edit or delete. If he try to use URL instead, we got a permission error here. Now log out and log in with user admin. And you see this user admin can see the actions column with links, edit and delete. So for example, delete this product. You see, very good, right? So far you have learned how to secure web pages in a Spring Boot application using Spring Security APIs with the form-based authentication with credentials stored in the MySQL database and using JDBC. I hope you will find this video tutorial helpful. Please click subscribe, like, comment and share this video. Thank you.